Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. So we've talked a lot about the wildfires all along the West Coast. Every fall, I talk about this because it's wildfire, and every fall I go, they've just broke another record in California, and I'm sure Oregon and Washington have broken records too. Over 2 million acres burned. That number might even be higher than that, much higher than that. That was as of about a week or so ago, so it could even be closer. Things that started to subside, but then back up in Santa Rosa today. That started back again. Santa Rosa, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like practically got the whole city almost got burned to the ground. So I came across this video. It was sent to me by one of you about they've been dealing with this. So wildfires, they happen. They're a natural occurrence in some cases. And California and much of the West is desert, meaning it goes through long periods of not a lot of rain. But I want to show you this map and what's been going on in California for the last 100 and some years. And every wildfire season, sometimes, especially these last couple of years where it keeps getting worse and worse, they act like, oh my God, these happen every year. It's like, oh God, taxes on April 15th again? What happened? So I want to show you this. So I'm just going to randomly stop it here. 1951 we're looking at. And each year they do 307,000 acres burned, total fires 221. And then in this lower corner here, you'll see, right over this way, you'll see, no, I'm doing it wrong. Right there. Sorry. You'll see this list right here is going to start showing the top 10 worst wildfires. And you're going to see that the worst ones are the most recent ones. So I just pay attention to this, what this video and this graphic is showing us. I just want to look at this final graphic here. So this is 2019. The 10 largest fires have all happened in like the last three. The top three have all happened like in the last 3 or 4 years. Look at that map. And this is what they say on their site, this Esri site. Wildfires are a fact of life in California and not a new one. Living in the state has always meant forging an uneasy alliance with the natural cycle of fires. What has changed in recent years is their frequency and ferocity. Largely driven by climate change. In 2018, California experienced the Mendocino Complex Fire and the Campfire, respectively, the largest and most destructive wildfires in the state's history. But there were over 50 others that year. Collectively, they consumed nearly 1.6 million acres, enough space to hold 5 cities the size of Los Angeles. And again, this was 2019. And all of this just got brought. As I said, this fire season has already crossed 2 million acres. So it's already blown the worst year ever in 2018 away by over, like, it's probably well over, it's at least 500,000 acres more. 500,000 acres more. So we really need to understand this. We know fire season is coming, and there's something it's been brought up by some of you on this show. We need to address land and forestry management. I don't know much about that, and I'd love to get somebody on the show that knows more about that, but it's one of the things we need to do. Plus, and this is the thing we've been discussing with climate change, is we can't just keep building and building and building. Part of that map, I bet you, if you ran a similar map of how California's cities have spread out and spread out and spread out since in the last 100 years, 110 years, right? Because all the LA's one of them, Sacramento, San Francisco, the Bay Area, San Diego, all these cities have just gone out and out and out and out and out. And they've built up into the hills and the mountains and stuff like that. And they don't take into account that the fires are going to happen. The state of California doesn't do enough about rainwater collection. It's 5 years ago that we were in the middle of a horrible drought. And the governor at the time, Jerry Brown, started doing measures and reduced California's consumption by 20%, which was good. And they started programs like the city of LA and certain other cities would give you free barrels, these plastic, 80-gallon drums that had a mesh thing on the bottom. So you have your gutter drain poured to the top of it, and at the bottom was a spigot that you could put a hose onto. And like I had a good friend of mine with not a huge house, and he's like, he just got into it, and he started 4, 5, 6 of these rain barrels, and he's like, during the rainy season, which is like kind of November through April, May. And he told me, he goes, I haven't had to use the city's. He told me this a couple of years ago. I usually get into about April or May before I have to use the city's water, because the summertime, because it's a desert climate, it rarely rains in California. So like there's all these little measures we need to do. We can't just build out. We need to do stuff like, the indigenous tribes of Australia would do controlled burns. They would burn deliberately because it refurbishes the soil. I'm speaking in very, very general terms here. Forgive me. But indigenous tribes have done this for centuries, for if not longer, thousands of years of the natural cycle. Well, we don't do that. And then we use too much water. We consume too much. We build too much. And then like San Bernardino County has had fires, really bad ones, because they have had no forest fires in recorded history. Well, that's not good. That's why you do controlled burns. That's why you manage the land better. You can't just build on it and build and build. And we're always consumed with money, money, money in America. All we care about is money. And guess what? It's burning our cities up. The West Coast is on fire. So if we don't start dealing with this now, what do you think 2021 is going to bring? More record-breaking fires. And instead of a little city, like Santa Rosa, it's awful that happened to, it's going to burn like Sacramento, or it's going to come down through LA. It's just going to burn out of control, or there's just going to be fires all over the whole state, and there's not enough fire crews. That's what was happening this year. And because we use prison labor, another thing we need to address, something Kamala Harris did, prison labor. And because of COVID, there weren't enough prisoners.